Get this 11 to 1 weekdays on the Triple M network. With myself, Tony Martin. There's Ed Cavalier in the sidecar and pushing the buttons, Richard Marsland.
The transsexual who's currently on bail on a charge of demanding with menaces.
Now, hey.
I'm not sure if that's the same Richard Marsland.
Look, I'm just doing Buffalo Bill and Silence of the Lambs, that's all. It's a tuck.
Goodbye, horses.
What's the problem?
No problem here.
Now, yesterday we spent a fair bit of
Used
time
to be my friend, the internet.
talking about a film called Meat Pie. And, Ed, I don't want you to think that I'm just doing this to take the piss.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Because, I would never think that.
I've got your best interests at heart here. Because think about it. If we didn't talk about it,
So true.
one of your enemies, of which there are many, Galen, Carl Stefanovic, one of them would find
Former
it.
housemates.
They'd all put it...
You're absolutely right. Tone, when I first brought it to you, and I said, Tone, there's a skeleton in my closet, I may or may not have been in the film where my appendage was taken off by a machine that I may or may not have been making love to. I'm in a film that may or may not be goat sex. You said, well, we've got to make all the jokes first.
Yeah, you've got to own the humiliation.
Own the humiliation. And I own it. I'm wearing it. Look at this face.
Because now when the robot finds it,
Yeah.
so the juice is gone.
No juice, robot.
The air's out of the balloon.
Cop that, Stefanovic.
Our listeners are disgusted, I have to say.
Whoa.
Hardened listeners.
Hardened short bus loving listeners.
Yeah.
You have gone too far. They've gone to YouTube and typed in, and if you type in Meat Pie trailer, oh no, that'd be too simple. The director wants to make it harder to find out.
It's an Easter egg.
It's Meat Pie, one word, trailer, misspelt.
That's right, as in Sailor, as in Wendell Sailor. Like that.
And it's not safe for work. It's not safe for anywhere. I showed it to my wife. Her jaw was on the floor for about an hour and a half. She's just going, is that Ed? Is that really Ed?
I was on a lot of crystal meth. Should I say that? Is that the way to get out of things?
We were having a look at it yesterday, and Tony shouts to the room, notice how it's not even halfway through.
And we're already throwing up in horror. It's all visual. It's all disturbing. Let's play just a little bit of the trailer for this upcoming Australian film, Meat Pie.
Can I trust you to look after the shop?
Of course, Dad. What's the worst that could happen?
From director Garnet May, in the spirit of American Pie.
That's Ed making love to a meat mincer.
Oh, I got John. Oh, yeah. Oh, feel the steel.
Meet Jono. More or less,
He had sex with the mincing machine and turned it on.
his dad,
Thought I'd bring a couple of shrimps for the barbie.
his
Oh,
girlfriend,
you're kissing so hungry and desperate. I've missed it.
Now, how long is this clip?
Jono! Oh, yeah.
in the comedy that proves
Go, son.
size does matter.
Oh, yes.
Try a piece of Australian pie. Meat Pie.
Well,
Okay, I don't want to explain what was going on towards the end there. But I like the line, feel the steel.
Well,
is that going to
that's,
become your catchphrase?
there it is. There are T-shirts on eBay.
Why does it have an American voice? Why is it American?
I've no idea, actually. I've never thought of that before, Tone.
Too
You
distracted.
can't start trying to pick the plot holes and stuff like that.
Now, okay,
Yeah, that's not what it's about.
I'm paying kudos to anyone who can get a film made because it's the hardest thing in the world to do. But from director Garnet May, I mean, okay, he's probably a great director, but normally, okay, Steven Spielberg, I can
Yeah.
understand why he would put his name in the trailer.
Absolutely right.
Are people sitting there go, oh, it's a Garnet May?
Yeah, it is. I think he's got a lot of fans just waiting. They've been waiting for this. He's made 11 films. None of them have ever come out.
Yeah.
I think this is the one, and the massive groundswell of Garnet May hysteria is ready to blow.
11th time lucky.
Yep.
Okay.
There's also a wonderful scene in the trailer which was edited out of that particular edit where someone runs into the behind of another woman. And
They're married. They're
Are
married.
they? That's fine then. But there's a sound effect that is...
Oh, like...
Yeah, it's one of those.
A lot of those.
It's one we don't have, actually. It's one I've never heard before. I think they commissioned an entirely new Boeing.
That's what the budget went on.
It's funny because before this thing, because we don't have meetings for this show, so
No.
I was sitting in the studio eating a sandwich, and Tony runs in and says to Richard, after transsexual, before meat pie, I'm going to need Mr. Humphries from Are You Being Served? Okay?
That's true, but
All right,
because
we'll
we've
look forward
spent
to
time
it.
talking about it, we now don't have time for it. Yes, our co-host is here.
Beautiful chiselling in the face, almond-shaped eyes, really carries himself well with style. He thinks he's the best, and he probably is.
It's Lawrence Mooney. So,
What a
Lawrence,
beautiful profile.
I'm sure that wasn't the kind of judgment you were getting from your appearance on Last Comic Standing.
I went to LA after being in the trial final here, if you like.
Now, just explain. So this is a show, if people haven't seen it, it's like Australian Idol for comedians.
It is, and they ran trials in Sydney, so there was about 200 comedians and people who were just coming off the street. And so anyway, we all line up. You get to go in and do a quick 30 seconds, and they say yes or no.
30 seconds.
Yeah, that was
30
about it.
seconds?
Well, they say 2 minutes, but you get to about 30 seconds, and they say, "Great, you're wonderful."
So once
And-
you've done Where Are You From? And
then you just barge into a set and you hopefully get a joke in there in 30 seconds.
Because, Lawrence, you work pretty blue. Like,
Occasionally, yeah. So I thought I'm going to choose something intelligent that's not blue straight away, and they brought me back for that final in Australia, which was about 22 of us, and then they chose 3 that were going to go to the United States of America, LA, for the semi-finals.
And now, can we say who the others are, the other Australians?
The other Australians are Adam Vincent,
Yes.
and Fiona O'Loughlin. Now, so we were 3 of the 32, separated into 2 semi-finals of 16 each. It was a hot LA afternoon, Tony.
Yes.
And
sweltering.
I was very nervous because part of my brain was saying, relax, it's only 4 minutes. And
It's only 4 minutes. That's a lot of pressure on one 4-minute spot.
the other side of my brain was saying, you're in Hollywood. Someone might spot you. You better be funny. And the guy, it was a long day. They were recording a TV show. And so I was 15 out of 16 acts.
Right.
And by the time I got out, the audience that looked like they were off Jerry Springer.
And the judges had been eating up a fair bit of time, you were saying?
They were, one of them being Tom Arnold, who seemed to be very motivated and sweating profusely.
yes.
He just wanted to crack jokes. Oh, wow, I loved your act. Whoa.
And you were telling me he was doing longer than 4 minutes.
He was doing a lot longer.
Every
And
time.
He was also doing a lot of single entendre.
He's the master of it.
And trying to crack onto the female comedians. It was pretty ugly.
Good look.
Anyway, the guy before me, he got a standing ovation, but he did something comically you may have seen before. He did impersonations.
Oh, right.
And he went out with this one. And you've always, in America, you've got to go out with a fact that will give the audience an opportunity to applaud. Like I just returned from Iraq entertaining the boys.
Yes. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
He went out and went, I've got a 3-year-old, I'm a stay-at-home dad. And his hand was in the air waving before they started applauding. And so they give him applause. He stands back and he says, and there's The Wizard of Oz is playing all the time around our place. Just imagine if they recast it. That's right, folks. Just imagine if they recast it using
I think it'd go a little bit like this.
Jack Nicholson as Dorothy. This might sound like sour grapes. I'm just using it to illustrate what I came on after. He did Robert De Niro. He did Christopher Lloyd, Bobcat Goldthwait.
Christopher Lloyd?
Yeah.
Not Walken, Lloyd.
No,
That's an obscure
Lloyd,
one.
but from, Back to the Future.
Yeah, the doc.
Bit of a stoner kind of a sound. Anyway, every impersonation got a massive round of applause, and as he finished, he got a standing ovation. And then they went, and all the way from Australia, all the way from down under, please welcome Lawrence Mooney. And I walked out to people wiping their eyes and going, how that guy doing the impersonations, how was he when he did Jack Nicholson? Yeah, my name's Dorothy. I want to go to the big green. And, they were just going,
I don't think I could ever laugh again.
Well, now,
I don't think I could ever laugh ever
I'm
again.
spent.
Yeah, I have spent. What are you going to have for dinner? Are we going to go to that all-you-can-eat diner? And so I had to go in and go, hey, come all the way from Australia. I only got 4 minutes. Everyone? No, I just may as well have said, talk amongst yourselves, really.
Now, what's it like? So you're standing there, and it's how do you know when your 4 minutes are up?
Well, there's got a massive plasma screen behind the judges, and when you get to 1 minute, well, once you've used 3 minutes, the 1 minute sign comes up.
Wow.
And when you get to 30 seconds, it counts down from 30.
That's not
So
distracting.
you think, okay, my big killer gag's got to come in here after 30. 30, 29, 28, and you think, oh, they're not laughing much. Maybe I should do an impersonation. I know, John Howard. Oh, they don't know who he is.
Of course, the audience are looking around, seeing it timing down, going 15. He better get to Jack Nicholson soon.
Yeah. When's he going to do something funny? But I did this. I underestimated the audience and the competition. And I thought, do something kind of conservative that is guaranteed laughs. Reach into the old grab bag of comedy and did this routine about women's underwear and pantyhose that I've had from years back. You know, the big killer out is pantyhose. You know, when the skirt comes off, they're scary and confusing. And whenever I see my girlfriend's bum in pantyhose, it always reminds me of a burglar's face. Bada boom!
It always reminds me of a burglar's face. If you've done it like that.
Yeah, that's. I was kind of. I had a little bit of LA in there. It always reminds me of a burglar's face. And I'd even ask, you know, they call them pantyhose? Yes, they call them pantyhose. I checked that the translation was there.
Do you have burglars over here?
Do you have burglars? Yes. Do they wear pantyhose as disguises? All was good. And then as I delivered it and got nothing and just, I did the big, thank you very much, and threw in a very gratuitous and God bless America. Look out for that on Last Comic Saturday.
That's the emergency parachute right there.
God bless America. I was walking off and I thought to myself, this was my exiting thought. I thought, you've just done a gig in LA about pantyhose. It really doesn't get under 30 degrees Celsius here. No one in this town has ever worn pantyhose, not only in LA, but in the larger California area. Ever worn pantyhose. You're a disgrace to yourself and your family. Get on the plane and piss off home.
Well, welcome back, Lawrence.
Welcome back, Lawrence Mooney.
That was my internal monologue on the way off stage.
Saw the Transformers on the weekend. How good did they look?
Ooh. Well, it's hard to tell. See, I always think that the technology is still a bit sus. Like in Splash, right?
Yeah.
When Tom Hanks married a mermaid. Full frontal mermaid action.
Because somebody went and built a mermaid.
Someone built a mermaid.
But once it's in the computer, a lot of panning off, a lot of blurriness.
It looks a bit like Flintstone's Viva Rock Vegas, I'm
really?
sorry to say.
Yeah.
Slightly less Stephen Baldwin. Because when the Transformers are on, you think, all right, Transformers, time to transform, time to start hitting people. That's all I want. But, unfortunately, you've got to cop the chick from Headland who's meant to be the world's greatest scientist. And do you remember when I called you, Tony, the day after I'd seen it?
Yeah, you weren't impressed.
I know, I wasn't. And I said, Rachel Taylor's in it. And do you remember what you said to me, Tony?
No, I don't.
You said, without missing a beat, you said, she able to transform herself into a decent actress, Ed?
Did I say that?
Of course you did.
Is she a bit Nicole Kidman, Days of Thunder?
Oh, very. Touch of the kids about her. Absolutely right. And also this kid, the main kid, Shia LaBeouf, who's meant to be the new Tom Hanks. Let's see him act with a dog, Turner and Hooch style. Rich, you know what I'm saying?
He couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's the real test of acting.
So it's a little bit Hulk smash, is it? You just want more.
Yeah, that's what you want. Instead, there's romance all the time. It's just romance. There are giant robots trying to kick each other in the face. And Michael Bay's down here, with the nerd trying to pick up the hot chick. There's no dice.
I was talking to someone who also saw the film, and they said that for half the film, they're not aware that the Decepticons are bad guys, even though they've got the word deception in their actual title.
Absolutely
and they're
right.
quite surprised when they turn out to not be all that they
they're
said
really
they were.
They're flummoxed. And at the start of the film, Shia LaBeouf is trying to flog all his grandfather's old gear, like antiques, literally from the 1840s, and in a classroom going, I need $20 to finish my car payments. Who's going to give me $20 for these priceless antiques? And he leaves, and obviously no one wants to buy his stuff. He goes home, he's like, I'm really sorry, Dad. I just didn't get the money to help pay off that car. And his dad's like, well, until you learn the value of money, son, I'm not going to give you any more handouts. All right, I better go to my room. Closes his door, trips over a foosball table that he has, and a giant set of, a basketball set. He's got 3 computers in there. Hello, Shia. Maybe the foosball table might get a bit of coin, bro.
That's like when Steve Martin was living in that mansion in Father of the Bride.
Running Nike,
going, how am I going to pay for my daughter's wedding?
He doesn't have $50 for napkins. Use $100 bills, Steve. And the old adage of, don't worry, guys, the hot chick will totally be into you. Once you realise that the rich, attractive hunk is a total loser and that you're awkward clamouring for her boobies while she's in your car is exactly what she's after. It's all going to work out. I was a nerd in high school. I got nothing. They wanted dudes who were good at football. My intricate sort of deconstruction of press gang didn't get me nothing. Does not work.
But is the theme song in there?
No.
All right, you're going to have to sing it, Mr. Marsland.
I'm not a Transformers guy.
At every screening, we want you there.
Oh, okay. All right, okay.
Can't give it some.
I actually don't even know the theme song.
You sang it all last year on the show.
Oh, you mean You've Got the Touch?
Yeah.
You've Got the Touch. They haven't got a new version of that. You've got the power.
It's been replaced by Linkin Park.
Oh, no.
Linkin Park.
Yes, Jane Kennedy's here.
Thanks for having me.
She has a number of children. I'm surprised she has time to go anywhere.
Oh, I really planned to come out, I tell you, for this. Because, yes, yesterday I found myself going, wow, how am I going to fill in 3 hours for the countdown till, first of all, I can have a drink. And then they can all toddle off to bed. And then I have, my night to myself. We go, I know. We're thinking of getting a Cubbyhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking it up on the internet, and, sure, the asbestos one's had its day.
It has.
So we thought we better pull that one down. And apparently you have to treat pine with something these days. I don't know what it is, but pine used to be bad, but now it's okay because you treat it with something.
Yes.
So
Contempt.
I can treat it with contempt.
Do they do that thing with the cubby houses on the internet like with normal houses? Is the mirrors on all the walls so they look
They
bigger?
do try to jazz it up a bit, you're right.
Only a view from the balcony?
That's right. That's right, and everything's an added extra.
Of course.
Really?
Like
a rope swing?
Rope swing and the telescope and the pirate's wheel, okay?
Pirate's wheel. 5, though. It's a cubby house for 5.
It will be, yes.
There'll
be ample room.
You guys aren't building it. You're buying it
No,
already.
you see, at Garden Shed World, they have these cubbies already constructed and you just pick out which one you want and the components you want. And you can have it as a kit home and build it yourselves, but seriously, do you think me and Rob are going to build a cubby house? Not in a million years.
Fair enough.
So we get it sort of already, the basis of it constructed. So we get there and it's really raining a lot.
Yes.
So it's wet and it's really cold. And the kids just jump out there, just couldn't be more excited. They go, Mum, this is the best place in the world, Mum.
Garden Shed World.
Can we live here?
Forget time zone.
Yeah.
Shed
Forget
World.
time zone. Garden Shed World. Because it has lots of fountains and water that they can get soaked in.
Wow.
There was a sort of trampoline in the middle of nowhere that they thought that was a ripper, and so yeah.
Is there a sort of room full of coloured balls?
No, not that. I don't let them go. That's the only thing I won't let them go in.
Because kids pee in it?
Well, or they spew in it, or they, germs. They lick the balls.
They spew in it.
They spew. It's just. Just don't
horrible
go near
image.
the balls. Don't go near them. There's a lesson.
See, this is just more stuff that means that we're not going to have children in here,
Horrible
Jane.
image. Having to
You
pick
are
up
so not.
having to pick up a kid covered in spew balls.
Oh, that's bad.
Awful.
It's bad.
You'd be used to that, though, wouldn't you, Jane?
I am.
Triple M around the nation. It is Get This.
One bizarre brew.
Thank you, Mal. Jane Kennedy is with us.
Tone, that Linkin Park song is the song playing when Rachel Taylor from Headland explains quantum physics to John Voight
in the Transformers movie. Right. Now, you...
so there you go.
It's a bit scary for my lot.
Too scary.
Yeah,
what films have you
They
seen?
did the Shrek 3 and they gave it the thumbs down.
Thumbs down?
Really?
Why was that?
Oh, just, mining the whole Shrek concept.
Too many movie
Is that how they
parodies.
put it? That was there.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's played out, Mum. It's played out.
No, they say things like, oh, they've done that joke before, but with another character.
Oh, the kids don't listen to anything.
They are good.
They're good, so I'm waiting. Yeah, no, there's nothing else, not much chop on at the moment.
What's their favourite one? What's just constantly on the DVD?
Movie-wise, actually, the Brady Bunch movie.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's
yes.
pretty funny.
Very
yeah,
funny
they
movie.
really love it. They love Alice keeps falling over, and they love all the innuendo.
Yes. But they have no idea what the original Brady Bunch was, I'm
No,
assuming?
because I haven't shown them the original, and they just think that the Jan character is hilarious.
Oh, I tell you who, the man who is a genius in my book is Gary Cole.
Oh, see, why didn't he not
great.
win an Academy Award?
See, you don't get them for comedy.
That's insane.
But that is
and Shelley Long was brilliant as Carol Gray. So good.
But Gary Cole, the dad in the Brady Bunch movies, also the boss in Office Space.
Yes.
He is the boss in
with
Office
his,
Space.
right.
with his coffee mug. Still having sex with his coffee mug in his hand, saying, okay. And also the voice of Harvey Birdman, attorney at law, which you can see on the Cartoon Network.
Now, if all of these are too obscure, he's always in sort of your Anchormans and your Talladega Nights, etc., etc.
Yeah.
He always pops up in these.
Good value.
But he's also he does a lot of creepy work. So he was in, I think, that Frailty movie. and he was in
American
A Simple
Gothic.
Plan. Yeah, American Gothic as well.
Yeah,
You
that
can't take him
series-
seriously
that
anymore.
was a series produced, here's how nerdish we get, by Sean Cassidy. Remember Sean Cassidy?
I remember.
I don't know.
Come on, everybody, get down and get with it.
Well, you'd remember David Cassidy.
Yes.
And who was Sean Cassidy? Was his brother?
Stepbrother, same mother.
What a time. Try and explain that to your kids.
Well, there's my fantasy. Seriously, could I really have the Partridge Family on my hands? Hopefully. And
Hang on a second. How many do
hey,
you
I could
need?
be Mrs. Partridge.
Oh,
How many
now
do you
we're
need?
getting
You need
somewhere.
6 kids, do you?
No, I need 5.
You need
Five? But you got
Yes,
5. Who's
yes.
the Bonaducci? Who's going to end
uh,
up beating up a transsexual prostitute, getting a reality show?
Well, I better not name him for fear of retribution when he gets to school. There could be one, yes. There could be one, and yeah, Mia would love to be Laurie Partridge.
This is a great idea.
It is.
And I just need the bus. I'm happy about that.
Because you've got a musical history, Jane.
Yeah.
Very.
Hey, yeah, now what do your kids think when they see old clips of you? I mean, because I notice
They-
on YouTube, stuff we did 20 years ago starting to show up. That thing 5 in a row is now on YouTube where you were Kylie
yes.
Minogue.
Yeah, they haven't seen that one. They've seen Funky Squad and they like that.
Oh, right there.
They say I have a shooting stick in my hands. See, that's the PC I call guns in our house.
Very nice.
Shooting sticks and cigarettes are called smoking sticks.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, tell the kids that they shouldn't smoke, but if they have to, pop down the international high rollers room.
There you go. That's all they have to do. Only place that you can fag away.
Ed Cavali's just revealed he's just gotten Foxtel installed.
I'm so excited for you.
Jane says to me, I only watch one channel. And I say, which channel is that? Which one did you say, Jane?
Lifestyle food.
Oh, see, Ed likes the sound of that. He's getting the drool icicles.
It's gonna be.
That's why you surprise me, young Ed.
I think I know now what it's like to have a child. I've
Yeah.
never felt such pride in my life, and I just want to go home and spend time with it.
I'm rapt to be on this day with you.
Thank you.
On the day you get Foxtel. You're just going to be in heaven.
24 hours of just food. Is that all it is?
Yeah, it's food. It's cooking show after cooking show after
And
cooking
what's the
show.
flagship one?
There is not one. There's not one. You know, there's plenty of Gordon Ramsay. There's plenty of
I don't
Nigella.
I don't like it.
Oh, see, I just can't get enough of it.
Forget Gordon Ramsay. What about, has anything interesting happened with Gordon Brown yet? He's not going to be good for comedy, I'm getting the feeling.
I think he's had a bit of a rough start, don't you? A few things on his plate just to keep him on his toes.
Obviously, someone's going to be re-recording The Stranglers' Golden Brown, changing it to Gordon Brown. But beyond that, I can't see much there. His name's good to say like this, Gordon Brown, as an exclamation.
That'll do me.
He's not giving us much.
I like that.
What's happened with the George McEncroe connection? George on the Brisbane Cage comes on this program. What did she say?
You told me this morning that back in the day, Jane, you and George's brother were in a band called Highly Strung.
That is correct.
And he played violin. And what did you do?
I played guitar.
Yes.
Very poorly. In fact, the real other musician was Dan Warner, who is obviously a well-known musician. And
well, let's
and
go to
singer.
the clip. Oh, we haven't got one.
Because Dan can sing and I couldn't, and he used to play guitar really well, and I would just literally have my guitar as a prop.
Right, but you can play the guitar, Jane.
Yeah, I can play D, A, and G. You know, a bit of that back and forth. It was the days we were playing a lot of Neil Young, and I could do the easy sort of get away with it stuff, and Dan did the tricky bits.
Cinnamon Girl, did you do that one?
No, not Cinnamon Girl.
No?
We did Lot of Love.
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys thought about getting the band back together to record a version of Rihanna's Umbrella?
I'd be very happy to do that, but I actually used to do Rhiannon.
Oh, did I get that wrong? Ooh, I'm sorry. I got that wrong, didn't I?
Oh, yeah.
Is she the girl from Everybody's Talking About Aya, Aya, Aya? Was that her as well?
Well, seeing as she's about 12,
Yeah, you're right.
you know, she certainly didn't have a hit out when I was around.
I saw
Very little.
some great footage, which some Late Show fans flagged me of you as Stevie Nicks on the Late Show.
Gosh,
Nearly.
what was I thinking?
Oh, it was a self-defense course for some reason, so it was obviously someone had to dress up as Stevie Nicks.
Makes sense.
Couldn't get the rights to put it even as an Easter egg on the new DVD I'm
Really?
working on. So you've been saved there.
Wow.
There's some
gosh.
good old footage.
No,
But
the Easter egg thing's very interesting. Yes, no.
do you get into that? I mean, or your children would know what that's about. There's hidden features on the DVD.
I've shown them, but they like seeing that. I said, look, you do this and you do this. However, it does involve me interacting with them.
No.
So I try and avoid that.
Right.
Yeah, no, you don't want any of that.
Well, Well, a lot of your early work is going to be seen, well, some of it anyway, on the new Barjas Olden Days DVD.
wow.
Skeleton work, may
I
I
have to
say.
say
was-
some of my favourite work
Really?
because it didn't involve me physically being on the screen.
Yes.
I really enjoyed when I could be behind the voices behind said characters.
Beautiful characters, Caroline Chisholm in the olden days and Natalie Thighblaster in Barjas, all beautifully digitally remastered, coming out for Father's Day, whenever that might be. We
That's
don't
good news.
celebrate
That's
that on this
exciting.
program.
Yeah, fair enough.
We're saying today, dob yourself in for some of your early work. What's on the resume that you've been leaving off? We've all got stuff. I mean, most of mine is on YouTube. Just type in The Whinging Pom into
Oh, that
YouTube.
bar, there's a UK bar sketch.
Yeah,
yes.
that's right. And you're in that as well,
Oh.
Jane.
Oh,
That's right.
Yeah.
I have a side ponytail from memory.
It's a little bit racist. It's a little bit Mino-Reiki, but there it is on YouTube for all to see. Richard Marsden, any early work you want to get out of your system?
When I was 15, this could pop up at some point. I did a commercial for Yalumba Wines.
Oh.
And it was a really classy commercial. It was made by the guy who did the Nescafe ads.
Yeah.
The ones that were filmed in Africa.
Ooh.
So it had that kind of look,
yeah,
except it was filmed in the Barossa Valley. But what was interesting is that I aged throughout the commercial because it was a family. It's a family company.
Right.
So at the start of the commercial, I'm hanging out making barrels, and I'm 15 years of age,
Right.
riding an old timey sort of velocipede, penny farthing. And then as the commercial goes on, I'm 35 years of age, 73, and then I play my own son. Very strange, very.
Oh, wow.
But they would have had nice string music or something behind you.
It was all that.
Could have been highly strung. We could have done the backing.
Is that right?
Would have made it perfect.
There you go.
And how did they do you at 73? Was it the
no.
latex makeup?
I aged pretty well, I've got to say. No, I mean, it wasn't actually me. It was another actor playing me.
Ruth Cracknell?
And then I played myself.
Why isn't that on YouTube?
I wanted Gwen Plum.
Have you got a copy of that?
No, yeah, I've got it somewhere at
What
home.
a click. I can't keep up with these references. Gwen Plum, did you say?
That's obscure. Come on.
That's Ada, the kiosk lady from the Young Doctors.
But you would have seen her on Where Are They Now, a flicker,
Oh,
because
right.
they featured the Young Doctors on Where Are They Now on Channel 7 the other week
Thank you for bringing
with Melancholy.
We were huge fans of the Young Doctors.
Oh, my girlfriend, this is how bad it is about smoking as a child, right? I'm in grade 6. I clearly remember this. My girlfriend Pierre and I used to have this thing that was at 6 o'clock. As soon as we heard the ambulance siren, which was the beginning to Young Doctors, went, we would light up a cigarette.
Really?
What is that in grade 6? Smoking in a house.
God, you couldn't do that now, Jane, unless you're in the International High Rollers room at a casino, obviously. All right, that's some more of your early work.
Smoking.
And who was
Jane
you
Kennedy.
who was the hottest doctor for those who could remember?
Mark Holton.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Right. What about Dr. Garcia?
Tony Garcia.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. No, actually, we didn't think much of him because we couldn't understand him.
What about evil Dr. Snape?
Oh,
Bald, little round glasses, bow tie. Evil.
All evil, that guy.
he was bad. But actually, I rather fancied Alan Dale's character.
Oh, is Alan Dale in that?
Oh,
the
it's this
OC's Alan
beginning.
Dale.
I have another celebrity to
Yes,
add to that
do
list. It's one of my first television appearances. I went on Hey Hat Saturday.
Yes.
And I dressed up as Demis Roussos.
Oh, I've seen that. That is fantastic.
Were you doing an impersonation?
Yeah.
or-
I had a beard on. I had a big moo-moo.
Could you give us some now? You remember any of it?
My friend the Wind. No, I'm not going to sing it.
Would that still exist, do you think?
It does still exist. It's on video somewhere in my house.
That
It's
could
so
turn things
insane.
around for the Nine Network if they dust that off. That could be what they need to fix the damage of that
Oh,
book coming
my
out. Have you
God.
read that book, Jane, about Channel 9?
No, I haven't.
Apparently, the word is go and buy it quickly.
Really?
I don't think it's going to be on the shelves for too much longer. There are certain stories we can't talk about. Even we draw the line. I have never had a story sent to me so many times by listeners as this one from Queensland. I think you know the one I'm talking about, Queensland. We can't really talk about it.
Tell us the title.
No, I can't even say the title.
What keywords?
Masturbating and stab victim, I think is the one. It's one of those stories. Yes, a man who
Just
was...
say allegedly.
Well, I don't think this part is alleged. He was stabbed twice in the shoulder and continued taking advantage of himself. It is a disturbing, if hilarious story, but unfortunately there are minors involved. No, we're not talking about Todd and Brant.
Hey.
So there will be trouble if we just... Believe me, we do want to talk about it, but I think there'll be trouble, so...
How many times would you have to get stabbed in the shoulder, Rich, to make you stop?
Okay.
We're not talking about it.
All right.
We can't.
It's a general question.
Can't go anywhere near it.
Call in. It's a general
Obviously,
question.
we could run a test, but probably best avoided. Where's something tasteful? Here we go. Sex aids in Utah.
What?
A mother of 3 has come up with a sex aid she claims can give women back-to-back orgasms in seconds.
Wow.
It's called the Marsland 5000. No. Joanne Drysdale, a former tool maker, insert joke here, was cleaning her carpets when she saw the vacuum cleaner could be adapted to a more pleasurable use. Now, this is the kind of revelation that usually leads to the emergency room.
Yeah.
And a hilarious excuse.
So, wait a second. So vacuum cleaners can be turned into a more pleasurable, like an Xbox? Is that or
a sandwich?
Yeah.
The resulting toy, called Vortex Vibrations, now sells for $110.
How does it work?
I don't know. I've got one here, so let's give it a whirl. Rich, just whop this down your strides if you could.
There we go. How's that?
Anything happening? Feeling anything at this point?
Oh, I'm not sure if... Oh, me plums!
Oh, be careful. Be careful. At the time she discovered the toy, the woman said she had not had sex for 15 years following her divorce, or done the vacuuming, I'm assuming. All right, that's got us back on a safe ground.
Mean Streets was on last night.
Mean Streets.
I had a choice of either watching reruns of the Antiques Roadshow or Mean Streets.
Oh, if they could combine the two, that'd be fun.
Just De Niro stopping halfway through a scene to appraise a pool cue he's smacking someone with.
You're telling me, Mr. De Niro, with my 25 years of experience. We're not here to talk about any of that rubbish.
No,
House rules. Why are we talking house rules?
Because we got some.
Oh,
I got it on my new house, the Dude Ranch.
Yeah.
It's a palace. We have 3 chairs and a beanbag for a guest.
Wow.
We have Foxtel. We have all sorts of wonderful things. We're getting a table tennis table. We're getting a second television in the living room just for Xbox because we don't want the Foxtel people and the Xbox people to argue.
Sure.
Yep. So this is all good stuff. Now, but we have a few rules.
Oh.
If you're going to fart, you need to give it an introduction. You need to pick something up and ask, is this thing working? You know, Is there something wrong with this door? Right,
Somebody sent out a whole list of those for us. I'll get that up for tomorrow.
Great idea for a phone topic.
That's
Prelude to
probably
a fart.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
so
tomorrow.
then we have another house rule that says that girlfriend suggestions, not welcome.
Yeah, okay.
One of my flatmates' girlfriends tried to grab a cushion out of a bag and place it on the couch.
No
No
room,
dice.
No room for cushions
No
in
dice.
the Dude Ranch. Any other rules, or is that it?
Well, that's pretty much it. We can live by those.
Okay, so we want people to call in with their house rules they've been subjected to, possibly bizarre ones. I'm thinking, I once lived in a house where a bloke would crack it if anyone got his Mad Magazine paperbacks out of order.
Absolutely right.
Had them on a special shelf.
Yep.
He's going, hang on, someone's moved Spy versus Spy Volume 4 to after Dave Berg looks at the lighter side of ...
That is insanity.
That's not right. Get out. I lived in a house where you weren't allowed to make any jokes about Gilbert and Sullivan. I lived in a house where, after an incident, it became illegal to construct an enormous boulder out of silver paper inside your wardrobe so that it couldn't be removed. There's actually a graphic account of that in my book, Lolly Scramble.
Very funny.
Some of the people in that story have started to contact me.
Ouch.
I think they're quite happy.
Oh, good. There we go.
Luckily changed their names.
Marsland?
I grew up with a guy who, one of my best friends, his family lived in a shed because they lived on a market garden and they lived in the shed. And the thing is, while they're living in the shed, over the course of about 4 or 5 years, they built a house.
Right.
So they're going to move into the house and they crammed the house full of their nice things. And then you couldn't actually ever enter the house. They continued to live in the shed to keep the house in a nice state.
In showroom condition.
Yes. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. You could never actually go in the house.
A museum.
Yeah.
But why are we sleeping on bags of fertilizer when I can see beds? Shut up, you. Those beds aren't for sleeping.
They got so used to living in the shed, you could never open the front door.
A shovel makes a terrible pillow. Shut up. Just shut up. Shut up and eat your fertilizer.
All right, what sort of house rules have you been subjected to at your place?
Or have you inflicted? Johnny, you there?
The rule of our house is that if you buy a new DVD or you take one out to use it, it's got to be put back in alphabetical order.
Absolutely right.
Alphabetical order by title?
Yes, and numerical at the very start.
I was just about to ask.
Yeah, 24-hour party people. Where does that go? Right at the start.
Do you get a lot of, nerd jokes at your expense as a result of this?
Well, that's the first time that it's really been made public. My wife knows the rule, but not too many of our visitors do.
Okay, here's what I do. If you want to keep it organised, but you don't want to look like a nerd, alphabetical order by director.
Whoa.
There you go. Chronological within the section.
Whoa.
And when you look at it, it just looks like a random bunch of DVDs. film buffs will spot it. To the normal person, he's not mad.
Now, hang on a second.
They've just been put back in a random order.
But all the meat...
Can I just ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
I disturbingly looked at that meat pie short yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes, John.
The term donkey drop, what does that mean?
John...
This is the trailer for Ed's film. It's on YouTube.
To get it, it's not Ed's film. To get it to understand it properly, you'd have to see the full length film, John, because it's in context. Out of context, it makes no sense. You know what I mean?
Correct.
In context, it makes less.
The reviews are continuing to come in.
Thank you for the call, John.
Thank you, John.
Siobhan, are you there?
Hi, well, I moved over to Ireland for a little while, and we met this guy who said we could live with him for free. And the rule was we were not allowed to put any rubbish in the bin. We had to burn everything.
Oh, an arsonist.
Because it cost him €12 to put the bin out. So for the first month we were there, the four of us used one bag of rubbish.
And you would burn it?
Yeah, we'd burn everything. And we weren't also allowed to buy shampoo or anything. You used to steal it from work, but it was fabric softener. So I had awful dandruff for the first 3 months we were there. Awful dandruff.
Fabric softener. My hair has never been bouncier. Fantastic.
It was dizzy stuff.
And hang on, so what is it, €12 to put the bins out?
That's a lot of
every time you put the bins out.
That's a lot of money. Where would you burn it? Would you have like a ritual, or would you just sort of... Well, if you just had a Snickers, would you just torch the wrapper then and there, or...?
Yeah, well, he was also so cheap that he wouldn't put any oil in the heaters. So the house was freezing, so it kind of worked, you know.
So you all just huddle around the bin fire like homeless folks.
I'm freezing. Can somebody put some rubbish out, please, quickly?
Siobhan, when you say that you live with a bloke in Ireland, was this under a bridge?
It could have been.
That's him in the background, I reckon.
That'd be lovely to talk to you,
I love
Siobhan.
that in every room, instead of a wastepaper basket, a tiny brazier. Just constantly aflame. For the last few shows at the top of the program, we've just been laying into Ed's upcoming movie, Meat Pie.
Probably, I'd say most of the program,
Sure,
Joe.
that's fair enough.
Most of the week, I'd say.
People are saying, guys, come on, stop knocking. Mostly Rex Hunt's been on the line. Knockers!
Get beat!
Losers from the scallop industry!
Rolling another fat cigarette!
Let's turn the spotlight on good drama.
As opposed to?
The ABC always has a bit of quality drama.
That's their go.
Fitzy from the Melbourne Cage has put me onto this show on Sunday nights called Life on Mars. Have you seen that?
No, I've never seen it, but I've heard a lot about it. It's got that guy from Human Traffic and the Lakes in it. Is it John Sims? Or
Yeah, he goes back in time.
Yeah.
He's a cop, goes back to 1973. Second series goes back to 73 again.
No.
I'm thinking, other times, that would be the way to go with that. I think we've got a preview. Coming up on your ABC, a new series of Life on Mars.
My name is Sam Tyler. I'm a police officer. I had an accident and woke up in 1473. Am I mad, in a coma, or back in time? Whatever it is, it's like I've landed on a different planet.
Well, what have we got here?
Open and shut, Gov. She's a witch.
Right, chuck her on the bonfire. We'll be down a tavern quaffing mead by closing. All right. Oh, what's the matter with thee, D.I. Tyler?
I don't know. It's not really procedure, is it?
Procedure? This be the 15th bloody century. I don't give a toss about procedure.
Yeah, but why do you jump straight to necromancy? I mean, these are the classic symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder.
You what?
Look, I'm a police officer.
I don't think thou have the balls to be a witch finder, D.I. Tyler.
That's not true.
Listen, Merry England is my gaff. I say burn her.
Then, providing balance in the chaser's absence, it's Tony Abbott's War on Everything. This week, Tony shows up at Philip Adams' house dressed as an issue of Quadrant, followed by the new-look message stick. News in the form of a stick. And Tuesday Night Book Club with radio's Ed Cavalier.
Well, it's so hard to choose. Obviously, Middlemarch has that extraordinary sprawling narrative and deep mastery of character, but at the same time, Zoo has the booty bang.
There's family fun with Mr. Bean Goes to Baghdad.
You can't park there, sir.
Followed by just a photograph of Sigrid Thornton for 2 continuous hours. Then, from the makers of Midsummer Murders, comes an identical series about a country detective with too much exposition on his hands.
Of course, Constable, the missing gun was only a diversion. That must mean Sir Roderick wanted us out of the way at precisely 2 p.m.
But why, Sarge? Why at that exact time?
Because that's when he plans to murder Lady Felicity with a gun he keeps in the top drawer of the desk in his office, unless we can get there in time to stop him completing his nefarious plan. So what should we do? Drive there, right now, in this car, before it's too late. Sir Roderick, why are you going over to your desk in your office? Because there's something in this top drawer. Not? Yes, this gun. But Sarge, I don't understand how you knew about the gun in the top drawer. I saw it in the back of a photograph in the microfiche file of the public library. Of course. Drive faster, he's probably already cocking the gun. There, as you can see, this gun is pointed directly at your head, and I've just cocked it. But why would you have kept a gun there in the first place? Simple, it was a gift from Lord Bellamy, the same Lord Bellamy who knew where the diamonds were hidden. I'm going to pull the trigger any second now, and do you know what that means? And why the suitcase had a false bottom left? The firing pin will collide with the bullet casing? Exactly. The same suitcase Lady Carstairs mentioned in her original will. As soon as that clock strikes 2 p.m., that's what I'll be doing. Firing this gun. And that's why the passport details didn't match up, causing the bullet to emerge twin sister in Norfolk. Look, it's nearly 2 p.m. Counterfeit Krugerrands. Blackmail, of course. Drop that gun, Sir Roderick. Damn! Hence the thumbprint on the Matisse. Correct. The explaining detective and his helpfully dim assistant on your ABC. There you go. If I was to tell you that's pretty much word for word an episode of Midsummer Murders that I saw.
Tony, that's the longest sketch you've ever done with English accents where no one's copped it in the plums.